As big as the what? As big as the Super Bowl, like Drake saying and J. Cole. That's what Caitlin Clark is right now. She is the biggest athlete in all of sports. She is the future and the face of American hoops and basketball in general, especially when the King GOAT James retired. The boy and Stephen Curry, Sniper, Easy Money Sniper, Kevin Durant, once they retire, it's Caitlin Clark that's going to take up the mantle for basketball in general, especially be the face of American hoops. And they just came out and basically said, you know what? Here, every single game, and it's only what I think 42 games now in the regular season for the WNBA. Every single Caitlin Clark game is damn near on national television now. That just shows you her impact. That just shows you her value. That just shows that she is the face of the WNBA without a question. Regardless of people want to talk about, she has a bland personality. Something is working. So, number one in merchandise sales. Everybody loves her showmanship on the basketball court. Her game matches her energy that she places on the basketball court, because she's a totally different person outside of the basketball court. When she's on the basketball court, she's a killer. She talks her shit. She backs it up. She's a 4-level scorer. We know how she plays, and she shows a lot of emotion and a lot of passion. But 41 games, I think it's 41 games, she has more national televised games than the Los Angeles Lakers, the New York Knicks, the Dallas Mavericks, I think even Golden State Warriors, if I'm not mistaken. But it just goes to show you that Caitlin Clark is here. Caitlin Clark is the chosen one, like I always have stated coming out from Iowa. She's the chosen one to help catastrophic the league into new heights and take them to a level that the league has never seen before. And obviously, for the people that are going to complain, for the people that are going to cry, for the people that are going to talk about, well, this is unfair. No, it's not unfair, because at the end of the day, she's the face of the league. She has risen to a new level. She's on a new level. And not only is she going to be highlighted, and the Indiana Fever are going to be highlighted, and they were one of the most exciting teams last year, if you watch, because they had a very fun style of play. I don't know if this year they're going to have that. Who knows? I believe so, with Caitlin Clark being the point guard and being the captain of the ship. She's going to continue to push the ball. She's going to continue to play a fast-paced offense, but they do have a new coach in Stephanie White coming on, who is known for being a more defensive-oriented type of basketball mind. So who knows what that offense is going to look like, as well as we know that she also had a great offensive structure with Alyssa Thomas and Brianna in Connecticut, where she really maximized the bigs that they had on the basketball court for the Connecticut Sun. I think she's going to maximize Aaliyah Boston, but for the play style, I still think the play style is going to be that high octane offense and pushing the ball 7 seconds or less. And it just goes to show you, though, this is special. Caitlin Clark is here. She is special. 41 games in the Indiana Fever. Los Angeles Lakers have 39 national games. Now, of course, the NBA has more games. It's an 82-game season. But it just goes to show you how big Caitlin Clark is, how she is the face of hoops, the future face of hoops, and how she is a superstar. And who would have thought? It used to be a time where you could go to a New York Liberty game and you buy a ticket that was $20. Now, when you go buy a Liberty ticket, it's twice as – it's like not twice. It's like 4 times as much. But when you go and try to watch the Caitlin Clark and Fever versus the New York Liberty, it's damn near 10 times as much to get in. Like some of the ticket price was like $400 for decent seats with the Indiana Fever and the New York Liberty. So it just goes to show you that she is a star. And the Fever, 41 games, the Lakers, 39 games, the Warriors, 36 games, the Celtics and the Knicks, 34 games, the Mavericks, 30 games. It is special. And since we're talking about Caitlin Clark, and I just did a last stream, basically 2 streams ago, I believe, talking about It's March Madness time. We're talking about March Madness. We're going to talk about Caitlin Clark. We're going to talk about her greatness. And there's a lot of lists that people like to come out this time of year. They like to rank different individuals. And ESPN ranked Caitlin Clark as outside of the top 5 basketball players of all time. Well, Sue Bird came out and she stated that not only is Caitlin Clark a top 5 women's college basketball player of all time, she's in her personal top 3. And I mentioned in my stream how other than really Stewart, there's probably nobody that you can really put over Caitlin Clark. And even Fox Sports, has came out and have listed Caitlin Clark as the second greatest women's basketball player of all time. And I think she has a case for number 1, to be honest. But I always stated that I have no problem with her being number 2 because Breanna Stewart, what she did, 4 national championships, that dynasty, even though the team that she played on is definitely different than what Caitlin Clark played on. But you can't, that was something truly, truly special when she was there with UConn. So it doesn't surprise me, but let's get to it. This is ESPN's this is Fox Sports all-time women's college basketball players. They got Candace Parker, Asia Wilson, number 9, Brittany Griner, Maya Moore, Holtzclaw, back in Tennessee, Cheryl Miller. We know her impact over the game of basketball and everything that she's brought to it. Deanna Taurasi, Caitlin Clark, Breanna Stewart. I have no problem with this list. And I had mentioned on my list because it was just like ESPN. I think it was like Candace Parker, Cheryl Miller, Deanna Taurasi, and somebody else. And I had mentioned that you can make a legitimate argument that everybody outside of Breanna Stewart, that it should have been Caitlin Clark. And I mentioned that in my stream because of Caitlin Clark took a mid-major team to back-to-back national championships and had brought a play style into brought a play style into NCAA women's college basketball, and then brought that play style to the WNBA. And also, no other woman on this list could play her play style and do the things that she did with Iowa, because she's the first. She's the first ever generator that we've seen at the level on the women's side in college and also within the WNBA right now. So even though she didn't win, you have to give credit where credit is due. And also, I'm not going to sit up and say just because somebody does not win a championship, that automatically knocks them out of a top five rating, because of the fact of the matter, team situations always matter. If you look at all the ladies on this list, all these ladies having comparison is that they played on powerhouse teams. Probably Baylor probably wasn't a powerhouse team, but majority of these ladies played on powerhouse programs. UConn, USC, Tennessee, South Carolina, Kansas. Like, these are powerhouse programs where a lot of times you have the best players outside of yourself. So Breanna Stewart played with great players. Deanna Taurasi played with Superb. Breanna Stewart played with Nafessa Collar. Like, Maya Moore, her team was set. Brittany Griner, Candace Parker, Asia Wilson. Like, you look at all these players and the teams that they were on, it's just like when they won championships, it's kind of like they're supposed to win. And then also Caitlin Clark's generation, was way more talented for like the different programs in comparison to these ladies' college tenure, because of the fact no matter, everybody knew their teams were going to win. Caitlin Clark went to Iowa. She had to go up against a lot of all-time great programs. It was just like, damn, you beat South Carolina, you got to play LSU. Like, it's like, what are we talking about? And the fact that they even made it to the Final Four and back-to-back national title games was contribute largely due to Caitlin Clark's game and taking her game to a level that's never really been seen at the highest level and the biggest games and on the biggest stage, that's never really been seen before. So we have to give credit when credit is due. And that's why I like when Sue Bird came out recently and she stated that I have Caitlin Clark as a top 3 college basketball player of all time. Let's go play it.
Clark of it all. Listen, I think the way that I'm looking at this, no, Caitlin didn't win. It's why she's not number one. Let's touch on the Caitlin Clark of it all. Listen, I think the way that I'm looking at this, no, Caitlin didn't win. It's why she's not number one. I think going to the national championship game 2 years in a row, basically playing big in every big game, hitting every big shot in every big moment, there's something to that, clearly. Raising the level of your teams, there's something that's, this kid is obviously special, definitely one of the greatest of all time. And I think when I really look at lists like this, it's kind of like, do you go based on just resume, or do you go based on, if we had a draft, who would you take? And there's no way you're not taking Caitlin Clark in the top 5. And to me, there's no way you're not taking her in the top 3. So, and that's not, a knock on anybody else. I just think that's the reality of it.
So she kept it a bean. She kept it a stack. She basically said that you're not just, if you are having picking top 5, if you're picking the best players off of these lists, are you not going to have Caitlin Clark, who is a generator, who is one-on-one, who facilitates the offense and runs the show and also helps players get to their spots and is a lead ball contributor as well? Are you not going to take that? Are you not going to select her in the top 5? And also, are we just basing things off a resume alone? And if we're basing things off a resume alone, it's just kind of like, well, I always say, if you're going by resumes and who has the most championships, then Bill Russell will be the GOAT in the NBA. And some old heads do that, but I don't do that, because to me, if you're talking about lists and you're talking about the greatest basketball players of all time, I think resume matters, but I also think talent and skill matters as well. So it's very interesting when we talk about the top 5 greatest women basketball players of all time, but I just don't think how you can have the all-time leading scorer in both the men and the women's side not be in the top 5 conversation on the women's side. At least that makes no sense. And to have her outside of top 5, or have her, to me, to be honest, anything lower than 3 is kind of disrespectful, I would definitely say. So it's a dicey game, but I want to talk about Gilbert Arenas and Brandon Jennings real quick, because this is because it's, and I love it. We need more old heads calling out other old heads instead of always hating on the new generation.
Who the fuck that is?
Oh my God.
Let's jokes. You heard me? But we go jokes and speak facts. All right? That's what we gonna do. We ain't go jokes and cap. We go jokes and speak facts. For real, for real.
That nigga play football?
You average 40, got what you got going. But you couldn't do nothing.
I'm smoke.
They want to whoop that ass too. We got some audio we can play for him.
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we have a shot?
You said 09 draft class, all right. But when my name was mentioned, man, what you on, man? What you got going? But you couldn't do nothing with me at all. At all. Nothing. First of all, you was too small, bro. Like, you know, you was too small. Like, chill, man. Like, you would think you average 40 goddamn points in the league or something. Multiple time All-Star. Man, you wasn't that, bro. You wasn't that. Yeah. And y'all like to call it trolling down here in Louisiana, Baton Rouge. We call it josing. So let's jose a little bit. Let's jose.
He hot.
You heard me? But we go jose and speak facts.
Jose.
All right?
Jose.
That's what we gonna do. We ain't go jose and cap. We go jose and speak facts. For real, for real.
That nigga play football?
Yeah, so what you got to say, Brandon?
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
Oh my God.
Who is that? Who the fuck is that?
Wait, BJ.
Wait, you don't know it?
He was in your draft.
So he who?
That's Marcus Thornton. He was
From Sacramento Kings.
number 43.
From the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
Wait, was he a second round pick? What the fuck is he talking about? I don't know who that nigga is. He used to. How long he played for? I don't even know. I didn't even know who. I thought it was a fucking actor. I don't know. I thought he played on the fucking Wire. I don't fucking know. What he talking about? I didn't even say his. I don't even know who the. Why would I say somebody I don't fucking know? Facts.
They
I said Drew Holiday, Lou Williams, Jeff Teague, and Ty Lawson. I know niggas heard what the hell I said. I know they heard my. I know all them niggas. I know all of them. I don't know who the fuck that is. Jonesin. Down here we say Jonesin.
Marcus.
Down here we say Cub Blood. Okay, and I don't know. I'm speaking facts. I don't know who the hell he is, but all right. Well, I mean, whatever. So you can get into it. I mean, you can get into it. Whatever.
Okay. So, all right. I guess that's that.
This is the whole thing about Brandon Jennings, basically saying he's better than Drew Holiday, Ty Lawson, and Jeff Teague.
I mean, shit. Second round picks trying to get in some shit. Did they even buy his jersey? That's a fair question. Who got a Marcus Thornton jersey?
Family, maybe. I don't know.
All right.
How many friends?
Find the motherfucker who got it because I want to buy it.
Marcus Thornton, 6.6 points per game, 2 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 40% from the field. Those are his career stats. Definitely wasn't the player Brandon Jennings was.
Okay,
we're gonna put that shit on the wall.
Listen, hey, I like this. This is the BJ I'm talking about,
man.
Man, start that second game, man.
This is what we do.
BJ is here. Mr. B is here. Mr. B is here.
I never said that man's name. Yo, do you see that shit? Hey, bro, you saw who I was talking to, right?
Yes.
Right? You saw the people I was going against. I said Drew Holiday, Lou Williams, and I said Drew Holiday coach got in for sending fruit baskets.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Like
Drew Holiday, Lou Williams, and Ty Lawson. And he also said he'll play Jeff Teague one-on-one. And this is the conversation. When we talk about Brandon Jennings is one of the most coldest players of all time. I know people want to talk about like, what he did at Oak Hill and things of that nature for us, like high school basketball. And he dropped 55 points with the Milwaukee Bucks as a rookie. But he really changed the game of basketball. He was one of the first high school players to go and say, I'm not going to college. I'm going to play, and I'm signing a $1.5 million contract overseas, and I came back, and I was still a lottery pick, a number 10th overall pick in the 2009 draft. Like, he was a hooper. He was a baller. Like, he wasn't on great teams like some of his contemporaries, but for his shot-making ability to handle the quickness, the lightning first step that he had, he was different. Like, so it's when you have conversations when you talk about quote-unquote one-on-one, it's like the things that he's saying, one-on-one, Ty Lawson, Drew Holiday, Jeff Teague, all in their prime. I don't think it's like, I think 90% of the things that he's saying is probably factual for us. Like, he probably will cook them one-on-one. Is he better? Because he kept saying about a lot of these players had a better career than me. They're not better basketball players than me. Now, the whole one-on-one concept, this is why I always talk about one-on-one, and people talk about, well, LeBron James said one-on-one isn't real hoops, and people think one-on-one is just duck and smoke. It's not necessarily duck and smoke, but it's just like, it's so many players where their game is, their skill set is predicated on one-on-one basketball, isolation basketball, and there's so many guys that I can talk about that were great one-on-one basketball players, and you play one-on-one, and they never made a high school team. They never made a college team. They never made it to the league. One-on-one does not necessarily equate to real hoops on the basketball court. Now, do I believe that if you lace it up and throw a ball out there and say, we're going to play King of the Hill, we're going to go one-on-one and see who's going to come out on top? I think 8 to 9 times out of 10, Brandon Jennings will probably come out on top and get some of the players that he mentioned because he was too quick. His shot-making ability and his handle was really, really lethal. Now, when it comes to Drew Holiday, I think Drew Holiday, people forget that Drew Holiday was an all-star. Drew Holiday's best statistical season was better than Brandon Jennings in the NBA. Also, he's a champion. Also, he's one of the greatest perimeter defenders this league has ever seen. It's a crime how they do Defensive Player of the Year awards year after year, and how he doesn't necessarily have a Defensive Player of the Year award. Because I think was a more lethal defender than Marcus Smart, and Marcus Smart has a Defensive Player of the Year award. And Marcus Smart, that's not any shade towards Marcus Smart, but I think Drew Holiday is a more lockdown defender than Marcus Smart. So when you talk about talent, you talk about skill set. Talent and skill, that's when things get dicey, because what you do on the basketball court matters, and how you play the game of basketball matters, and your talent really. A lot of guys in the NBA their talent and their skill set can't really get their game off the way that they can, because a lot of times it's about roles, it's about situation. But Brandon Jennings was in a situation where he was the first option, and he was able to showcase some of his talent and his ability. Now, that did not translate to winning, and that also did not translate to him shooting a high percentage from the field as well. So when we talk about talent and skill set, some people are going to say, well, that talent didn't get you to the All-Star game. That talent didn't help your team win. That talent didn't help you get to and shoot a better percentage from the field. A lot of people are going to point to that. Now, there's some truth behind that. That being said, Brandon Jennings and him signing with Under Armour and having all those cool, crazy color waves that his shoe had and stuff like that, he really was doing a lot of things different that was kind of before his time. Even like when he was vlogging on like YouTube, like he was vlogging his journey and stuff like that. Now we see everybody, all these Division I athletes, all these NBA players vlogging their pregame meals and vlogging them training and doing all these things, this content. Like Brandon Jennings was really, really doing some things very early on. And to real basketball purists, Brandon Jennings is a legend. To NBA executives and coaches and teams and owners and things of that nature, Brandon Jennings was a guy that had incredible one-on-one talent. But if he's your best player on your team, you're not going to be successful. Could he be your best second or third best player on let's say a deep playoff team? Most people probably would say no, because his skill set and what he did best, which was scoring, didn't necessarily translate to the highest level. So for us, whoever you think is better, one-on-one, I probably would roll with Brandon Jennings. As I said, 80 and 90% of things he's saying on all these streams and all these clips on social media is right. But at the same time, one-on-one is not real basketball. It's just not. Because it's so many guys, like I said, I can go find in the hood right now that's cooking Division I college players. But that don't mean that if you put them on a team in an organized structure that they're going to dominate, they're going to contribute to the success of that team and having that team go out and try to win at the highest level. So it's your boy, Mike Smith. Make sure you go like, comment, and subscribe. Also tap in and follow me on AKISS NBA, all the social media platforms, talking to NBA, talking to WNBA. You know how it is, man. I leave you with this. Faith without works is dead. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not into your own understanding, and always acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. All my true tellers in the chat, shout out to y'all, Wizard Gang, and I'm out, man. Peace.